WrestleMania.
Who'd have thought we'd spend 5 minutes talking hair? All right. Yeah, WrestleMania 34 coming up. So we have some match predictions for everybody today. Some other thoughts post WrestleMania as well. I feel like people aren't doing enough post WrestleMania stuff because I feel like there's going to be some big post WrestleMania things happening.
There has to be.
Whether it be on Raw, SmackDown, the following, or even in like the weeks after that, because that WWE Black Friday is coming up as well, which is the day where they make all the cuts for the year. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So we got a lot going on, but let's go ahead and start. Since WrestleMania is the big story, let's go ahead and start with our match predictions because I think that'll kind of lead pretty well into the other things we're going to talk about today.
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right.
How about these Rumbles? Do you want to start there or do you want to just go down this list?
The Battle Royals? Yeah, I guess, you know what? We can go from the top down.
Okay,
from top down. So we'll start with the Brock and Roman because most likely that is going to be the 1-2 headline. That's going to be our main event for the year.
Ugh, isn't that the saddest shit you ever heard?
It really is. You know what? It's sad, but there's like a little glimmer of hope within that too. Because you know that it's almost 99% certain now that Brock's going to be gone since Dana White from UFC came out yesterday saying that Brock was most definitely coming back to the UFC, but he wasn't exactly sure when. So I feel pretty confident that WWE's not going to renew his contract. I've read reports they've been trying to, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen now. So there's a little glimmer of hope that at least the Universal Championship will mean something now.
Or at least that we'll see it once every 6 months, more than once every 6 months. Yeah. For me, like the Roman Reigns experiment for me is like a root canal. Like as soon as they the faster they get in there, the faster I'll feel better. So the faster they put the strap on this guy, the faster he'll hold it for however long, maybe 4 to 6 months, maybe a year. The faster it's gonna come off, and hopefully, I'm just hoping that it's someone I don't fucking loathe the next time around. I just feel like
there aren't that many that I loathe. As long as they don't put it on, Baron level baldness, I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic that I feel like I could speak for both of us when I say there are very few performers that I hate.
Yeah.
And they just happen to be putting it on the one,
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. The only thing worse they could do is like bring Batista back and put it on him.
Oh, I would take Batista in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
Really?
Over Roman? Yeah, absolutely.
I was never a big
Drax,
Batista
man.
fan.
He's fucking Drax.
I know he's Drax, but he's like Drax outside of the WWE. When he's inside the WWE, he's Batista that has like 4 moves. He's like Brock Lesnar Part 2.
Give the belt to Drax. That's all I want.
He could take it back to Star-Lord.
Ugh. Speaking of movie stars, how about John Cena versus Taker?
Yeah, it's so weird, the reports on this as to whether or not it's going to happen. It seems to change every day. Now, yesterday they're saying that The Undertaker's set to appear but may not wrestle. They're saying that they were going to build to something else at that point. And then today's reports come out saying, yeah, he's going to wrestle. There's no way that they're going to do all this build and then not have him wrestle. So people don't seem to have a clue what's going to happen here, which is great.
I got to say, this is the first year in a long, long time where I could give a fuck about the top 3 matches on this card. Like it literally happens, doesn't happen. I don't care.
Yeah,
I hope it's less than 5 minutes. That's all I'm praying for because I don't want to see these assholes tear it up for 30 minutes. And by tear it up, I mean hobble around the ring like 50-year-old men, which is what they are. I mean, You can't expect more than that. And that's the thing. It's not even their fault. I mean, maybe it's their fault to some degree for choosing to come back, but the fact that this is still being pushed on us in an age where, look, man, I feel like we harped on this last week. It's done. Just go.
It is. Let the old guys just go by the wayside. They've shown now that they have a strong stable of superstars that they can pick from. Why in the world do they need to keep going back to the well?
And guys chomping at the bit to come up from NXT that are actually legitimately talented and ready to go.
Exactly. There's so many guys that are so much better at what they do right now. Yes, I will give these oldies their due. They had a great run, but you got to know when to just hang it up and walk away. And
so if this match happens, who do you think is going away with the win?
Undertaker is 100%. This is going to be his last match. This is going to be like the career match for him. And you know that Cena's going to put him over because it's his last match, and Cena seems to be okay with taking L's now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
that's the best thing that I can say about Cena is that he seems to be okay with losing.
exactly. So that's how I feel it's going to go. What do you think? I mean, I feel like that's how it's got to go down.
Here's the thing. I'm looking at their names on the paper in front of me, and I just don't care. I truly don't. I'll take, if you're taking Taker, I guess I'll take Cena. But just for bragging rights, I genuinely don't care. It does not matter to me who wins this match.
I don't care either. It's going to be really, really, it's going to be a little sad, especially if it turns out anything like last year Undertaker. So, and I know we talked about that last week as well, so we won't continue on. Let's move on to the Rousey Angle McMahon Triple H.
There's no way in hell that Rousey doesn't win this match, right? I mean, there's
no way she doesn't get the pin at this point.
Or the tap out. I feel like it's going to be like an arm bar, like a submission move.
Oh, guaranteed. That's simple. And yeah, we talked about that last week too. So we can move on from that one. Let's talk about matches we actually care about.
I cannot wait to see this rematch, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura from Wrestle Kingdom.
Woo!
Chaos versus Bullet Club. Who you got?
Oh man, this is a tough one. I feel like Shinsuke's gonna take it just to have some fresh blood, but I don't know if he's gonna hold on to it too long. Because I feel like there's so many other guys that are kind of chomping at the bit that may have a little more of they're getting more of a push than he is right now. So I feel like they put this quote-unquote dream match together for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not really to kind of push a storyline at all. Obviously, based on the build that's happened from this entire match, there hasn't been really much that's built other than fake hitting each other a couple of times.
Yeah, I feel like if I could just examine the top 4 matches on this card, the first 3 are matches that Vince McMahon wants, and then the 4th match is something that he says, let's give this to the hardcores so that they don't cancel their subscriptions.
And riot.
And kill me or my family.
Right.
But yeah, I'm taking Nakamura. I would love to see, just everything. Here's the thing. I don't know that he's had that it match in WWE yet, but I feel like he's capable of it, though. And I feel like he was with Jinder and a disinterested Ziggler for, the first bit of his WWE run. But he did have some good matches in NXT. And I feel like just on the legacy principle alone, you got to give him a chance. I want to see him get a chance anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see what he can do with it. I think the toughest thing they're going to run into with him is he doesn't cut great promos, especially for them making him kind of quote unquote the face of SmackDown that's ultimately what he's going to be if he's going to win the WWE title.
Absolutely.
So I think they're going to have a tough time with that. And in turn, they're going to have a tough time letting him hold the belt for more than, a month or two before they move on to something else or someone else at the next pay-per-view.
I don't totally disagree with that. I do agree that like Roman Reigns, he's not a great talker. They both need mouthpieces. I hope they give it to Nakamura. I hope they put someone interesting with him that can talk for him.
Yeah. Which there's not a lot of people out there right now that can do it.
There's always people you could call, though. What the fuck is Zeb Coulter doing? Paul Heyman isn't going to have anything to do after Brock leaves. There are people that you can, I think, put with him.
Move to. And that leads us perfectly into the next one. Asuka versus Charlotte.
There's no way in hell that Asuka loses this match, honestly.
You don't think?
No.
I don't know. Here's my thing. It could go either way, but I feel like they're getting tired of having to keep up this streak thing, and it doesn't allow them to work very many angles at this point with her because it's getting to the point where she's going to win every time. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be in their best interest to let Charlotte take this one.
That's a bold that's a bold prediction. I feel like one of the things that concerns me about this card, as it stands, is that obviously not every title can change hands. Right. So that leaves I feel like that leaves the Styles Nakamura match thing in jeopardy. But I genuinely don't think it does with this. I really feel like, honestly, if she were going to lose, and that was the plan all along, I would have had her lose at the Mixed Match Challenge because that team had. I feel like I don't know about other people, but I had no interest in watching that team win. I was all about Charlotte and Bobby Roode.
Yeah, they were great. Now let me throw a little wrench in the works there. There's still that outside chance that Carmella tries to cash in during this match. Do you think that's a possibility? And if you do, how do you think that's going to happen? If it does,
I think there's two potential aspects, right? So Carmella cashes in during the match when one or both of them is injured and pins Charlotte. Therefore, Asuka hasn't lost, right? The other potential outcome I see is Carmella tries to cash in on Asuka and loses after.
and that would be really interesting because, as you know, back from what was it, WrestleMania 31, when Rollins cashed in, that automatically turns the match into a triple threat. So technically, Asuka loses because it turns it into a triple threat match. She would have lost the match.
Right, but that gives them the latitude to say, "Oh, she was never pinned. She's never submitted." They can, they can still say all that bullshit, which is what they've tried to do with several other people.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a distinct possibility. I mean, especially as many times as she's teased it over the past couple of weeks, and now she has quote unquote broken the record for the longest Money in the Bank holder. Not that that's something to be proud of,
right?
At all.
Right.
That just means that they're not ready to move forward with you as champion because they don't really believe in what you're doing right now.
Right.
Or you could have the balding Baron effect and just lose it and be the first one to ever have it not work out for them.
I hope Ellsworth called her and was like, "Hey, you know this isn't an achievement, right? You're actually technically failing at what you're doing here."
That's why, for some reason, I think that they're not going to let her cash it in because they know it's got just an underlaying just stink because a man technically pulled the Money in the Bank briefcase down in the first ever women's Money in the Bank. So
I thought that, and maybe you know, maybe you don't. I can't really truly remember, but I thought, and I don't know if I'm quoting this quote unquote rule correctly, but I thought that if you didn't cash in within the year, you lose it.
You do.
Like it was a use it or lose it kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, you have that year, and after that year is up, by the next Money in the Bank pay-per-view, you have to have cashed it in.
So maybe it would be, I feel like the funniest possible angle is if she loses track of the date and just loses it. And then she goes on like this heel crime spree of just interrupting every single match because, you know, she deserves it or whatever.
I'd be okay with that. It would actually build a little bit of heat on her.
It would give her a character, if nothing else.
Right now, people just don't care. She's just the blonde chick that moonwalks before she starts in the match, and then she's the one that is the most vocal when she's in matches. I can't stand it's her and Liv Morgan when they're in a match. The screaming that they do constantly, dude. I can take it for about 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, you're really overselling it right now. So let's scale it back a bit. Let's scale it back.
It's funny to me, like how people have these predilections towards certain sounds and things. Like I literally never even thought about that.
You will now. You're welcome.
Yeah, right? It'll be like the telltale heart now. Like I won't be able to get it out of my head.
She's so loud, dude. Her and Liv Morgan are so loud. Like they're almost louder than the commentators. To the point where when they're on, I almost want to just hit the mute button because I know the screams, like the over-exaggerated screams are coming. Oh, it's the worst.
Let me be the first to thank you for ruining my enjoyment of either of their matches because that's all I'm going to hear from now on.
Just wait until Sunday if Carmella shows up. You're like, damn it.
Oh my God, why is she screaming?
Damn it, brain, you got me again.
Yeah, the brain stumped me again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, damn right. All right, let's move on. We got The Miz versus Balor versus Rollins. Who you got in that one?
I got to take Balor.
I want to take Balor.
My heart says Balor.
But what does your brain say?
Also Balor. I really think that WWE, if they have any sense whatsoever, sees what is happening with the Bullet Club and how it is the most popular thing in wrestling, in spite of the fact that WWE has never got their hands on it. I think they're looking at that and saying, well, we have the Bullet Club already, so why can't we have our own something club or whatever?
They got the OG BC.
Right, exactly. So why not? You know, I mean, you have them already under contract. Why not use them as such? Part of that means you're going to have to make Finn look dominant. You're going to have to make the club or, Anderson and Gallows, you're going to have to make them dominant. They're going to have to win titles, either singles titles or the tag titles.
That's the problem with them is they've been jobbers over the past year. You know, they had a really good run for a couple of years. I think they won the tag titles once or twice, and since
once.
over the past year they haven't done anything. Yeah, they show up.
Yeah, but you know, Carl Anderson is really good, and Luke Gallows is what he is. Like, I think he's capable, and I feel like he's huge, so they can be booked as monsters, honestly. What are they doing with the Bar? Like, why does the Bar need that title? Like, don't get me wrong, Cesaro is one of my favorites ever, but it's not like there is any reasonable story that they're doing with the Bar. So if there's not, then why not just put it on Anderson and Gallows, let them hold it for a good long time, and make it part of the, oh, well, we're dominating because we have all the belts kind of thing.
That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Now, I think in this match, there's one thing you're overlooking, and that's the fact that The Miz, over the past 2 or 3 months, keeps saying, I'm this far, this long, this many days away from breaking the record of the longest running Intercontinental title holder. I don't think they're going to let anybody walk away with that but The Miz.
That's cumulative, though, isn't it? Like, it doesn't matter if he gets it now or during his next Intercontinental title reign.
No, I think this is all in just one run. He has held it for almost a year now, I think, or maybe a little longer. So he's had for a long time, and he's about to break Honky Tonk's record. Like, I think on Raw this week, he said he was 36 days away or something like that, or it might have been a couple weeks ago that he said that. So he's close to breaking the record. I guess the thing is, at this point, are they going to pull it from him right before he breaks the record, so he's not the record holder, or do they let him break it?
I know that the one thing WWE loves is to talk about how, talk about their records and how much their records mean. So I know that that's a thing, but I truly believe that you have to see what's going on in Japan and be like, look, this could be the hottest thing. We could have truly, if they wanted to, like if they were all in, if you will, not to make a stupid pun, but if they put the tag titles on Anderson and Gallows, put the IC title on Finn, move AJ over and have him beat Roman, then guess what? They are not only the true Bullet Club, but they have all the belts.
Yeah, and it's been rumored that AJ is going to move to Raw too. So
for a long time, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if that happens, that'd be amazing.
And then it gives you the perfect feud down the road. After one of them drops a belt or whatever, then we can do, well, who's the leader of the Bullet Club? The original was Finn, and then it became AJ, and then they can feud, separating the, they can blow it up when they're ready.
That'd make for some more great matches, like the one last year at Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. There's so many options if they go that direction. I'm taking
Finn.
I still feel like The Miz is going to retain.
Fair enough.
That's my thoughts on it. But I am 100% with you pulling the OG Bullet Club back together. I think it would be fantastic.
I feel like you're leaving a whole lot of money on the table by not doing it. But I also get WWE loving to suck their own dick about their precious records and title reigns and whatever. All
that mumbo jumbo. Yeah, I agree. But Miz for me, I think is probably gonna win out. I do think that Finn will have a belt within the next month or two for sure. Maybe next pay-per-view.
What about your North Carolina's own Cedric Alexander? Do you think he'll have a belt?
God, I hope so. I mean, I'll tell you what, man. I like Mustafa Ali, but Cedric has been in it to win it. He's been in the cruiserweight stuff since the beginning and has never gotten a title. He was in line for a title shot before the Enzo stuff happened. The dude deserves this belt. He's been one of the hardest workers in 205. I mean, you have to give it to him. You have to. It's going to make me super pissed if they don't.
See, deserves is a funny thing to me because Mustafa Ali, contrary to Cedric, was getting absolutely nothing except for, some 6-man tags before Triple H took over. And I really believe that because of this push, because of everything we've seen, not only does Triple H see something in this guy big time, but I really do too, because his promos are incredible. And he's an amazing worker. I think it's going to be Ali.
I honestly, I won't be mad at either one. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be sad if it's not Cedric.
Did you hear that 205 was number 2 this week on the ratings on WWE Network?
Wow, really?
Yep, jumping up there, brother. It's
Dang.
happening.
Hey, that's good. I'll tell you what. Well, I mean, we'll get to that, but it was a huge show this week. Huge show this week. Whew.
I was fucking livid, like genuinely fucking livid that this is going to be pre-show again this year. I really think that's a slap in the face.
As was I. There were people that started a hashtag right after SmackDown when they mentioned that it was going to be pre-show, and there was a hashtag that started like give the cruiserweights a chance, put them on the main show because they wanted they said just put the stupid Alexa Bliss match on pre-show, but they're not going to do that because Alexa Bliss is like their cash cow of the women's division, or she's one of the two. So it just sucks.
Hey man, it's your number 2 show on the network that you require people to pay money for, so maybe you should listen to your fan base that's paying, motherfuckers.
That's what I'm saying. But we'll
How about
get to
Women's Battle Royal?
Women's Battle Royal,
Yeah,
honestly,
right.
I feel like it's a no-brainer. You got to give it to either Sasha or Bayley because it's in place right now to just further their feud. I think that's all that this thing is in place for, and to rival the men's Battle Royal, so it's equal. But those are going to be the last 2 left in the ring. I mean, can you honestly think of anybody else in that entire Battle Royal that would even get to...
No. I think Sasha's going to win for sure. I wouldn't be shocked if Bayley won, but I think it's going to be Sasha. Yeah, I think she's going to pull some heelish move to eliminate Bayley, and then she's going to take it.
Yeah, I agree with that. And not to mention, they kind of owe one because I feel like she should have won the Royal Rumble. I mean, she was like Iron Woman for the match. She was one of the first 2 in and one of the last ones out. So, I mean, they're stuck on the stupid pre-show. They're stuck in the Women's Battle Royal. I mean, at least give her something to show for it. Either one of those two, I'm good with.
Absolutely.
I think Sasha will take it too. All right, moving on. Alexa versus Nia. I think this is an interesting one. I don't think the match is going to be great, but I think the outcome is going to be interesting.
What do you think the outcome would be?
Well, like we said, they can't change every single belt. So I feel like Alexa may retain here.
Yep.
But it's very possible that she loses it the next night at Raw.
I agree. I actually agree with both of those statements. I think that she's going to cheat and or get disqualified on purpose and or get counted out on purpose so that she can keep the title. I think that Nia is going to destroy her early, and then she's just going to either run or cheat. And then either someone's coming up or she's going to lose it to Nia on Monday.
I think she'll lose it to Nia on Monday, and they'll probably have some kind of blow off match that's going to be a no DQ or no count out or no holds barred, some stipulation that's going to keep Alexa from Alexaing all over the match. So
fair enough.
That's my call on that one. All right, next one. This is a fun one. Tag team champs for Sheamus and Cesaro versus Braun Strowman and Brains Strowman.
I'm going to be honest. My girlfriend did not find this funny, but I really did. I laughed when that happened.
It was hilarious. Did he not look Bubba Ray like Bubba Ray Dudley? I thought that's who it was for a second. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, I didn't have any sort of like facial recognition moment with it, but I was just like, this is dumb. Like, sure, it's dumb, but I laughed. I don't know what to say. Braun has this ability that I think is going to help his career as far as longevity to be funny and be a comical character, but still absolutely crush because he's so physically imposing that you believe, even if he's telling jokes, that he could kill you. When he came out and played that upright bass and he broke the bridge off of it, I was dying because I knew that like once that bridge snapped, he couldn't possibly play it, but he made it work. So, there's something about the guy. And like I said, it's his physicality. Like he's so big that even if he's doing something that looks funny, you believe he could kill you.
I 100% agree with that. He's got both sides of the coin down pat. I mean, he can cut amazing promos. He's hilarious. He's now very likable. The best thing that could have happened to him is leaving the Wyatt.
Yeah.
That honestly was the best because he was just getting buried there. Now he's able to do his thing, and you see more of his personality, and it's great.
And I really think it helped that he feuded with Roman because I think the WWE thought it was going to get Roman over, and it got Braun over because
big time.
People were thanking him for putting Roman in an ambulance. People were thanking him for killing Roman, and I just feel like it got him over that much more. I don't know if that was the plan. but it definitely worked.
They're gonna claim it was the plan. Regardless.
So, who do you think went? Okay, so this is a layered question. I feel like. Do you think that Sheamus and Cesaro are going to go over, and this is just going to shoehorn Braun into a program with whoever his mystery partner is, or do you think that Braun actually has a run with the tag titles, and that this is a consolation because WWE isn't ready to put the big belt on him yet?
I think they're probably going to give him the tag titles right now, because I think they have plans for Roman to feud with Samoa Joe as soon as WrestleMania is over. I feel like Monday Night Raw, you're going to see Samoa Joe again, and that's going to start. So I think they had big plans for Samoa Joe before he got hurt. So I feel like they're going to pick that right back up as soon as he comes back. I feel pretty confident about that. I agree.
The thing that bums me out about that, though, is if it's Joe off the... Like, the first guy that feuds with Roman isn't going to win the belt. And that just bums me out because I think that Samoa Joe, like Braun, like Brock Lesnar, has this quality where he seems like a legit fighter. And I feel like that's something that a lot of guys are missing. We'll talk about that when we get to the Raw recap because I have a pretty funny story to tell you. But anyway, who do you think... Do you have any idea who the mystery partner could be? I heard Bray a lot on social media today. I feel like that...
But I think a lot of that came from... I think he sent out a Snapchat story or something that he and Bray were like hanging out together. But I think everyone took that as meaning, oh, that's going to be his partner. I don't see how Bray fits into that. Why would he want to go backwards? I feel like that would take his story backwards. It's not going to take him anywhere.
It would be something WWE would do, but I agree. I don't think there's any future with those two.
No, absolutely not. Bray's still got to finish up what he's got going on with Matt Hardy. If he's doing a whole rebrand, re-imaging of himself, if that's truly happening, that's going to have to happen outside of what Braun's got going on. And Braun doesn't need any more weight really dragging him down. He needs a guy that's kind of level with him.
Who do you think the mystery partner? Because I actually feel the opposite. I feel like what Braun needs is someone who looks like a total joke to just sit on the edge of, like I said last week, Ellsworth would be perfect. Just let him sit on the corner or in the corner while Braun just destroys everyone. And I think that's
agree. I think
hysterical.
that would be great, but I just don't think they're going to do that. It'd be super funny.
Yep.
There's going to be some weird angle. Either that or it's going to end up being like the Big Show.
Is that who you think it's going to be, the Big Show?
I honestly feel like that's who it's going to be.
Well, will you pop if that voice comes out on WrestleMania?
Not a big Show fan. Never have been. His
don't
matches
mind the guy.
They're just boring. His matches are so boring.
Yeah, he has big man matches,
I know. I hate them. At least
awesome.
At least Braun is interesting.
Tell me what you think, Brain. Tell me what you think.
I did. I can't stand big man matches. I really can't. They're just so boring. You know what's going to happen all the time? It's going to be kick, punch. Most of the time, just punch, power slam. Then there's going to be a throw. Yeah, that's it. That's all you get. You're going to get a big splash in the corner. And that's it just happens over and over again. Nothing different happens. You're not expecting any high spots. You know you're not going to get any suicide dives. I mean, it's just expected. And I'm so bored with it.
I fucking hate suicide dives, so you just sold me on Big Show. But I think, I'm saying this with my heart and not my head, I want it to be Neville. I think that if they smooth that relationship out between like men some fences, I feel like Neville is outright refusing to go back to 205 Live, and that's what the holdup is.
It's likely.
And just put him in the tag division, let him be with Braun, let it be like a Mighty Mouse big man thing. It'll be fun. He's a great wrestler.
He is good, and I would enjoy watching him. He'd be a good yin to the Braun yang, but I guess we'll see. That honestly, that is one of the only things that people cannot figure out, and I'm impressed that WWE's been so tight-lipped about it and hasn't leaked out anywhere.
Right. You almost have to applaud them for not fucking this up.
Yeah, hey, thanks for not leaking that. I mean, it was kind of like the Hardys thing last year at WrestleMania. Sure. Nobody had a clue up until 2 minutes before they came out. They had them very well hidden.
I didn't know.
I mean, exactly. They can do that apparently. So I feel like the same thing's going to kind of happen this year with Braun's partner. Who knows? Braun may not even know who's going to come out.
Oh, you could actually be totally right. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be fun. That's the one WrestleMania surprise I'm actually excited for.
Yeah, as am I. And I feel like Braun's probably going to take it because it's time for the bar to, debar.
I feel like I would love for them to break up, and man, I just in my heart just want a Cesaro run. I know it's probably never coming, but I feel like it would be a lot of fun.
You never know. You never know. There's always a resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
Guys can always change things up, change up the gimmick a little bit. It could skyrocket him to the top. Look at Edge. I mean, he's kind of built like Edge. He's tall, kind of lanky. He doesn't have
The Miz, man. I was even thinking the Miz is a recent example of someone who was dead in the water, threw him on SmackDown, and now he is over like Rover.
Exactly. And I mean, he's on Raw now, and doing great.
Yep.
I mean, anything
Totally
can happen. I honestly, I think it's time for the bar to break up too. They've been
Yeah.
together for, I guess it's been about a year and a half.
Yep. I like them, but I don't love them.
No, it's time. They weren't meant to be a tag team. They worked out well for the time they had, but you can only watch the same entrance so many times. You're like, all right, we get it.
I feel like they peaked when, and this is some time ago, but when Cesaro would raise his hands, the crowd would cheer. Sheamus would raise his hand, the crowd would boo. Like that was prime time, the bar for me. They didn't even call themselves the bar at the time.
It was great, and now they're so in the middle. I mean, I know
Right.
they're working kind of the heel angle a little bit, especially in this feud, but I don't know. I'm indifferent about them.
And I think that's kind of poison for your career too, because I think WWE wants you to be one or the other, not both.
And I mean, the fans do too.
Sure.
You got to know where you stand. You do. There's WWE's always been good guys and bad guys. If you kind of are a neutral guy, that's when you get buried.
Unless you're just great, unless you're just a great tweener. But I feel like those guys are good guys. They're just not presented as such.
No, not at all. All right, well, let's move on. We got D-Bry and Shane and Mac versus KO and Sami Zayn. This one's going to be an interesting one. There's
I'm taking KO all the way.
Are you?
Yep.
Who's he pin?
I think he pins Shane.
I feel like that's what's going to happen. But at the same time, are you going to let Daniel Bryan lose his first match back?
Yes, and well, here's the problem. You cannot have Shane can't really turn heel because he's the authority figure. He's supposed to be the good guy authority figure. If you turn Daniel Bryan heel, you're insane because that's a cash cow. That's a money tree waiting to be picked.
He'll never be a true heel. People are going to love him regardless.
Absolutely. KO and Sammy can be heels and cheat. Man, I'm kind of talking myself out of picking KO now. I just feel like, damn it. You're right. I don't think Daniel Bryan can lose in his first match back.
But how do they work the you're fired angle though?
I think what's going to happen is the night after, Shane is going to say, look, you can't be both. Because you could just, put yourself in the main event for the title every night.
I mean, that's true.
Right. So you've got to be one or the other. I don't know. I mean, this match is somewhat of a mystery to me. Even the booking of it seems a little haphazard. I think more than anything, this was just something that was trying to get Shane a big match.
Well, it was trying to get KO and Sammy a big match, too, instead of just sticking them on the Battle Royal like it was originally intended. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think they knew that Daniel Bryan was going to be cleared and needed something to do with him as well. And, I mean, there's been the feud going on with Shane, and they really need a blow-off for it because it's been going on for, since last year's Clash of Champions, even before that. So it's time.
It's been a long time. I agree.
So it's time to end that and put it to bed.
Who do you think wins?
I honestly think that, and this is just what I hope happens. I hope Daniel Bryan gets the pin over Sammy, and then I hope that KO and Sammy move to Raw because I feel like they deserve. Kevin Owens was at his best when he was on Raw.
And when he was the champion.
Exactly.
I feel like Kevin Owens is one guy that works best when he can be an agitator and when he gets in title matches and then the first thing he does when the bell rings is roll out of the ring. I think that is just instant.
It's the best.
Just instant FU to everyone, and it's fun.
That's why I love him.
I don't know who. I can't pick a winner here. I gotta say Daniel Bryan. All right, I picked a winner.
I just feel like he has to get the win. You get that feel good moment, and then KO and Sammy will figure something out. They'll end up on Raw.
I'd be happy with a KO win that doesn't involve Daniel Bryan, though. For the record, I'm waffling. I'm just a waffler here.
You're waffling hard. I'm gonna need a decision from you. Give it to me straight.
Daniel Bryan. I'll take Daniel Bryan. It would
Good
be
call.
insanity.
All right, moving on.
To not do that.
It will.
Okay.
I agree. All right, this next one's going to be an interesting one, too. Usos versus New Day versus the Bludgeons for the SmackDown
Mattel's
tag.
Bludgeon Brothers.
Mattel's Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, I hate their gimmick, but I think they're going to win for sure. Their in-ring stuff is nice and aggressive, which I like, but that foam hammer is just embarrassing.
They're just kind of like Undertaker light.
Why do they have fucking hammers? I don't know.
I'm
not
hate
a
it
fan.
because they bludgeon things.
I get it.
You can only do bludgeoning if you have a bludgeoning instrument.
What I want to see is
still
change their name to the Blood Brothers, and then change their gimmicks back to Harper and Rowan, because there was nothing wrong with that, and they were a fine tag team when they were just Harper and Rowan.
Right, when they're all sweaty and gross looking. I mean, come on.
When fucking Luke Harper looks like he bought his clothes at Walmart that morning.
Exactly, and he typically did.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's what he was on. He did an interview on some other podcast. He was talking about how he actually used the same tank top almost every single match.
That I get, because you want that to look
would
gross.
almost never wash
sure.
it.
Yeah, you want it to look gross. I get that.
So his wife used to just bug him about it all the time. They're like, can't you just go buy a new tank top? He's like, no, I just don't have time. I don't really want to do it. And so he literally wore the same tank top for every single match and would just like wash it, and it would still be gross. So I mean, I'd still be just as freaked out if they look like hill people coming out as they do when they have their stupid masks and the weird
thing.
Get up that they got going on.
Absolutely. One is not scarier than the other. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, Bludgeon Brothers is less scary because it's kind of comedic in a way.
But I feel like they wanted to move away from the Wyatt thing, and the only way to do that is completely change up their look. Other than the beards.
I didn't want them to move away from that gimmick at all. So, fuck you, WWE.
That's how they felt. They wanted to leave the Bray behind, and Bray got left behind hard.
He sure did. He got left in a lake somewhere.
And he also got left, most likely, in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
What a step down from a man Bray.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Do you feel like... Okay, so I have so many ways to pose this question. We have three, right? 3 winners or 4 winners. I'm sorry, because Big Show won it too. So we have Cesaro, who didn't get a push. We have Big Show, who didn't get a push, or just was Big Show. I don't know. We have Corbin, who maybe got kind of a push for a minute, and then they just depushed. And then Mojo Rawley, who lol.
Who cares? I hate that guy.
Do you think that there's any reason to believe that this is a stepping stone in anyone's career, given that the last 4 have been total jokesters?
No, absolutely not. It means absolutely nothing. Honestly, the only reason this whole match is put together is because Vince McMahon feels like he needs to include the entire roster in WrestleMania in some way, and this is the way to get all those guys in there. It means absolutely nothing. Nothing. I mean, Baron got a little bit of a push, but you also got to think too. Baron was in NXT whenever he won the Battle Royal. So, I mean, honestly, anything is a push for an NXT guy getting into WrestleMania like that. And, then he moved up to the main roster. He got a little bit of a push then, and that was it. I can foresee possibly an NXT guy taking the W in this thing.
That would be at least interesting, if nothing else. Do you think there is anyone that is currently announced that could win this and have it be a stepping stone? So, like, what I'm saying essentially is that could Vince say, like, all right, this is the year the guy who wins this is going to be something?
No. I just don't.
Oh, good.
I look at the list. I mean, let me run the list real quick. And this is just who's been announced. You got the Revival, Baron Corbin, Ty Dillinger, Welcome Matt Hardy, Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Mojo Rawley, Goldust, most likely Bray Wyatt. I mean, this is just like the C-list players. Other than Matt Hardy, who's having a resurgence now. I like Dolph, but let's be honest. It's not going to happen
Scott.
for him.
Let's be honest.
We're going to be honest. It makes me sad to say, but we're going to be honest. It's not going to happen for him. I don't feel like anybody in this list that I just named is going to win. There's no way. If I had to pick one, it would be Matt Hardy, just because he's getting really over now because of the Ultimate Deletion thing.
Yep. I can't disagree with that. None of these guys look like... And mind you, this is not to say that I think any of them other than Baron Corbin are bad wrestlers. This is simply to say that I don't think the company cares a ton about... Like, I mean, you called them, C-list players. I think you're right. I think that's how they're viewed. And I think this is going to be a spot for either one big name who definitely wins. This is maybe a spot where Big Cass comes back and wins and tries to get something going, which I feel like he won't, or maybe will a little bit, like Baron Corbin, or just thanks for your time, see you later to a Mark Henry or a Big Show.
And that very well could be too. Or do you think Zack Ryder comes back and wins?
Listen, broski. Here, can I tell you? So this is embarrassing. This is an embarrassing admission that I will put out there. And
right.
I think I told you about it already, but I started my own faux Bullet Club-esque faction in WWE2K, and the leader of whom is, of course, your favorite number one broski, Zack Ryder.
Woo, woo, woo.
You know it. But, yeah, man, I don't think it'll be Zack Ryder, but I think it should be. Not only that, but I feel like he should win a Money in the Bank briefcase for winning, and he should cash it in against Roman Reigns and give him the motherfucking Rough Rider.
All in one fell
and be
swoop.
The Universal Champion this Sunday at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. All right, moving on.
It's not, but I wish it would.
Listen, you can have dreams, but it's not going to happen this year. Just hope that after WrestleMania, he doesn't get cut.
That's all I'm hoping. And I also, in my faction, my fake faction, I put Ziggler in there for you, buddy. So you're welcome.
Oh, thank you. He deserves to be in there. Good old Ziggy. I know he's with us for at least another 2 years. He's locked down. So
jobber to the stars. How about the US title?
Oh man, I honestly, if they don't put it on Rusev, I'll be surprised. Even though it's kind of like, yeah, I already did this like twice.
I feel like it's,
but
I think it's Jinder all the way.
No, are you serious?
Yep. I feel like that is the story they were going for. I think they put Rusev in there because of the merch sales and have no intention to actually push him.
Man, did you hear the reports that Rusev asked for his release like a few weeks ago? Yeah. So there's reports that came out that Rusev is not happy with the way WWE's handling him, especially with how well his merch is selling. And they haven't given him a push because of it, and he's upset about it. So he threatened to walk because of that. And I believe his contract is up next year anyways, so he'd be walking out on just 1 year of a contract. And because of that, and to settle him down, that's how he got thrown on the U.S. title picture last minute.
That's
what
they gave.
I don't believe it was in the original plans.
What do you think his response? Like, oh, thanks a heap.
Where else do you put him? Where else do you put him at that point? You can't put him in the freaking IC title match. There's no way. I mean, you can't put him in the WWE title match. That ruins that. You can't put him in the Universal title match. That ruins that. I mean, they're basically sitting him at the bottom of the barrel at the, grasping at hair's title, the United States Championship.
How thrilled would you be if Rusev walked out of WrestleMania the Universal Champion?
That'd be amazing. Never happen, but be amazing.
Here's the problem.
There's no way they could work that angle.
If he goes to the Indies, he'll have to use, presumably, his name, which is Barney Yashev. And Barney Yashev Day doesn't sound quite as good as Rusev Day.
Yashev Day is not as catchy. I mean, it's close.
Yashev would be
not
fine,
quite.
But not Barney Yashev.
Barney. His first name is really Barney.
No, that's his last name. It's Miroslav Barney Yashev.
Wow. Yeah, not going to happen.
Yashev Day, I guess. You're right.
Yashev Day.
That's what it'd have to be.
That, and nobody will know who he is at all.
Maybe. I would see that dude on the Indies.
I would too. He's a great wrestler. I enjoy watching him. He's one of the bigger guys that actually puts on good matches
and has stamina.
And, he's got Right. He's got some dexterity as well.
Here's what I love about Rusev.
His kicks are legit.
I love that Rusev doesn't do a bunch of flippy-floppy, tope stuff. Not that I hate that stuff, I just feel like it's overused. And I feel like Rusev is a nice break from that.
He's a good brawler.
Great, yeah, sure. I'll take that.
I mean, that's where he's at. All right, so who do you think takes this one? You really think it's going to be Jinder?
Don't hinder the Jinder.
Oh, God, I hate
the
that
modern-day
guy.
Maharaja.
He, honestly, okay, he is the only one that gets close to my hate that I have for Baron Corbin.
For sure.
Like,
he's up there.
he's inching. He's inching. Especially this stupid Punjabi prison match and all these horrible matches he's put on over the past year. Ugh.
Here's the thing about Jinder. He would be the best heel in the company if he had entertaining matches. Because he is hateable, which is great, but then he can't back it up in the ring, so it sucks.
No, he puts on terrible matches. They're just all forgettable. And if you remember them, it's because they're bad, like the Punjabi prison.
Yeah, they're
match.
fun to make fun of. They're mockery matches.
Yeah, that's it. All right, well that's our WrestleMania card. We've made our predictions.
You didn't scream boom shakalaka. You didn't howl at the moon.
Paul, say something stupid.
Bologna, fudge, and mustard. My life is being ruined by the internet.
I'm here to stay, make a good lucha thing.
Where's my fucking champ?
This will be the moment, starting now, of the genesis of McGillicuddy.
We're going to the top of the totem pole.
This is the Wrestling Botchcast with your hosts, Scotty the Brain and Sean Bradshaw Layfield.